Cliff Kingsbury for the vacant head coaching job, according to Jordan Schultz. And heading into the offseason, Titans quarterback Cam Ward injured his AC joint in his right shoulder. Elsewhere around the league, after the final whistle of Week 18, the Atlanta Falcons fired head coach Raheem Morris. The Cleveland Browns are moving on from head coach Kevin Stefanski after 5 seasons. Stefanski won Coach of the Year 2 times as the Browns head coach in 2020 and 2023. In Las Vegas, it's a one-and-done for Pete Carroll after going 3-14 this past season, as well as head coach Jonathan Gannon, who is also out in Arizona after 3 seasons. Tune in this evening at 6 for the Commodore Hour right here on 102.5 The Game on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
For more, log on to thegamenashville.com. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is, they're a little rearranging of that camera. Yeah, nice. Hello, welcome. I'm here in some form or fashion. We are at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. It's beautiful outside. You know, I was thinking back to when the announcement got out about a year ago that Nashville would host the FCS title game. And you sit there and you say to yourself, okay, what are the options on January the 5th? And the truth of it is 65 degrees during the day, probably not one of them. So we're very thankful for that. Here's another thing to be thankful for real quickly. The forecast all week long is this stuff in the 60s. 67 on Friday. Today, 63, 64 tomorrow, 62 Wednesday, 66 and 67 to close out the week. That is not all bad. Let's go to Murfreesboro, and for the first time in 2026, we say hello to our buddy Kelly Holcomb. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm good, George. How you doing?
Did you watch the game last night?
I did watch the game last night. That was unbelievable. You feel so sorry for those kickers, man. I mean, he was a rookie. I don't know if he's missed all year. Did they say that on the telecast that he has not missed all year?
He was 30 for 33, I think is what I heard.
Yeah.
And on that one, well, look, I would assume this, having never been in that position, that you can be 30 for 33 all you want to be. But if you've got a kick that's going to decide whether your team gets in the playoffs,
that's right,
total euphoria, or the other, which is awful, some things are going to tighten up.
Yeah, that's what Chris Collinsworth said during the telecast too. Like, he's been really good. I think the kids from Arizona, they really wanted him. They thought he was the kid that could get them through those moments. And I'm not saying, it's just like I've said before, like experiencing the Masters on a Saturday night when you're leading, going into for the first time, that's a different feeling. That's a different feeling what that young man felt last night. He's got to experience that, and it's different than a regular season kick. That was more of a playoff type of kick where you've got to make it for your team to advance. And, you know, hopefully he'll learn from that because he is a really good kicker. But, man, you just feel so sorry for him that everything rode, the whole season rode on that one kick, and he missed it.
Parker, say hello very quickly. This is Parker Kelly for those who may be new to the show.
George, I know you were talking about things that you were grateful for, specifically the weather. I'm very grateful for Kelly Holcomb because without him, I wouldn't have anybody to relentlessly pester and annoy.
Whatever.
Parker, what are you talking about? Like, are you going with a new look? Or I mean, have you had Have you had a makeover? Did your wife tell you need to get a different look?
No. So Kelly, I do gel up my hair. It's just more than often I'm pretty lazy in the mornings because I go work out and then I come back and I'm like, I don't want to go through I don't want to gel up my hair. I don't want to bring out the blow dryer. So I just, kind of swoop my hair over. But today I had time.
If I could get a golf ball to lay on top of that hair, I'd be in the low 80s.
You might be able to.
Hills.
You might be able to. We should test that out.
Okay, let's get to the important stuff right off the bat. Terry McCormick, Main Street Media, TitanInsider.com's done a brilliant job for us throughout the season. This is an important update right now because I think a lot of people want to know exactly what's going on with Cam Ward. Terry, it sounds like he may have avoided the worst in that injury yesterday.
Yeah, it sounds like, that they're opting not to have surgery at the present time. They think that rest and rehab can get him back to where he needs to be. The one concern that I would have with that is that once you have that injury and if you ever dislocate your shoulder, there's always the possibility that the right kind of hit is going to cause it to pop out again. And that is certainly, has to be a concern, and so I think that was one of the reasons why Will Levis had his shoulder operated on, was so that he could get past that injury and not have it pop in and out of place like it did a couple of times on him. So you hope that Cam Ward can heal up enough and be able to put this past him without having to have surgery. But
let me ask Kelly real quickly. Kelly, in your NFL playing days, did you ever deal with this?
Well, I did. I had to have shoulder surgery, George. I tore a labrum. I tore my anterior labrum, and it's not fun. It truly is. Now, I don't know what's the extent of his injuries, guys. Do we know?
Yeah, he's out 4 to 6 months, and the good thing is he avoided surgery, which is obviously huge, but he's not going to pick up a ball for a while.
I'm guessing we've got – yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When Terry talks about it, like when you have an injury like that, though, you've done something to it. And, obviously they're going to do MRIs, which I'm sure they've already done, and they're going to figure it out as an organization, meeting with the doctors. But, you don't want this to happen again. And I saw where he went down, and it kind of reminded me of Drew Brees when he tore up his shoulder his last year in San Diego. And that was not good. So there's always something there. So, yeah, that is kind of concerning.
Terry, I think we've got you back. Take it from there with any more info you want to share on that. Okay, apparently he's not there. So if we can get him back on real quick, let's see if we can do that. So Kelly, how concerned should a Titans fan be? Up until then, he had been the model of durability. I believe I'm right. He is the only NFL quarterback who had taken every snap, and given the beatings that he's taken, man, that's a check mark in the positive about him. How concerned should we be?
He's got 4 to 6 months, George. I think he'll be okay, and he's a young guy. But you're right. I've talked about it on the show. I think he's a durable guy, and I didn't realize that until I was reading stuff today that he had taken every snap. That reminds me when I was in Indianapolis and I wanted to play some, and Peyton took every dadgum snap all the time, and I'm like, he never got hit. And, Cam Ward's been hit a bunch this year, but he's a durable guy, and that's what makes it, the first series of the game the other day, he goes down, he looked pretty good, and then you have that happen. And when I saw that happen, I'm like, I just said it reminded me so much of Drew Brees and the troubles that he had. Now, Drew Brees came back, but, it seems like he's got a good prognosis of what the doctors have said, but I'm kind of like Terry. I'm going to say it again. Once you do something to that shoulder, you've done a little bit of something to it. Now you can rehab it and get it back, but hopefully it comes back better than ever. And it's always a last resort to have surgery. Nobody wants to have surgery, so I hope he can. They're saying right now in the articles that he might not have to have surgery, and he's thinking he won't, which is a good thing.
So
we have Terry, by the way.
Okay, let's bring him back here. Terry, in the 4 to 6 month prognosis, the latter getting you very close to training camp with some sort of a new coach, how big a concern is this?
Well, I think it has to be a concern because he's supposed to be there not only learning a new offense and learning a new system from a new coaching staff, but also remember the offseason was supposed to be spent for him working on refining his mechanics, working on his footwork and all the things that are supposed to improve his accuracy. So if you're pushing all that aside while he rehabs the shoulder, that is certainly a cause for concern.
So what does this do as far as Will Levis, who is still a Tennessee Titan, even though he's essentially been sent to Siberia?
Well, I mean, this is just me talking, and I plan on asking Mike Borgonzi this tomorrow when we have access to him. But this is just me talking. I hang on to him because, one, you saw how Brandon Allen played yesterday, and it was not good. It was Rusty Smith level quarterback play. And, that's not going to get it done if Cam Ward is unavailable at some point. And two, the going rate for a backup quarterback is probably a lot more than what Will Levis's fourth-year salary is going to be. So to me, the smart move is to hang on to the guy for right now. And the only way that it would not be a smart move would be if somehow he is a distraction in the locker room, which, from what I've gathered, in the past, there's no indications that would be the case.
Wouldn't his mere presence kind of be a distraction?
Maybe, but I mean, it's still the fact that Cam Ward is the number one overall pick. He's going to be the guy that is going to get the first nod at quarterback, provided he's healthy enough to do it. So to me, that minimizes the distraction right there because you've invested the number one pick in this guy. He's your guy until something happens that he's not.
Terry, let me rumble through a couple of things real quick. Any other major injury stuff from yesterday?
A couple of guys also had James Williams had an AC joint sprain. He was in the locker room with his arm in a sling. Corey Levin had a biceps injury, had a sling on his arm, was not able to finish the game. Those were the other two that were kind of major in terms of the injury front from yesterday. But a lot of little nicks and bruises and things like that. Like obviously Gunnar Helm was out with a toe injury, didn't play at all. So, he'll have to heal up going forward and get ready for the offseason too.
Okay, so tomorrow Mike Borgonzi speaks to the media. It appears that he's won, whether it was a power struggle or not, he has won the right to tell Chad Brinker, listen, go down the hall. I got work to do. How important is this?
Well, I think it's important for the fact that it puts the front office in a structure where everybody knows who is in charge of the roster. Everybody knows who's going to have the veto power, over what players they select, and also who's going to head up the coaching search. Now, obviously, that would be subject to Amy Adams-Strunk signing off on it. But for all intents and purposes, Mike Borgonzi is in the big chair now, and he's the guy that is going to be entrusted with this coaching hire and with the draft and with the roster going forward.
Which should mean that until we hear otherwise, Matt Nagy, until we find out he's not, right?
I think Matt Nagy, obviously it's been reported they've already asked permission to talk to him. So he definitely is going to be a serious candidate for this. They also went and asked for permission. It's been reported for the other Chiefs coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, the former Rams coach and Giants interim coach, along with Vance Joseph and Lou Amaruno. And there was another one, which I think Cliff Kingsbury might be on that list as well. So they're casting a pretty wide net, but a lot of people think that it's Mike Nagy's job to lose.
Yeah. Terry, let's talk again tomorrow after the press conference. I know we're going to try to run some of it at some point, but let's talk tomorrow as far as a daily Titans update. And then at some point, you will be given a respite.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, thank you as always, Terry.
All right. See you, George.
That's Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. He, of course, is Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com.
I know we don't have a lot of time on our updates, so there are three main things I wanted to hit on. But first, let me remind you that we will be at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall Thursday and Friday as Miami takes on Ole Miss, and Oregon and Indiana on Friday night. So make sure to come hang out with us then. The NFL playoffs are set. We had an exciting Sunday night football game last night between the Steelers and the Ravens, exactly how a divisional rivalry play-in game should feel to determine the last spot. The Broncos get the 1 seed in the AFC. The Seahawks get the number 1 seed in the NFC, and the playoffs are set. Black Monday today in the NFL, as it's traditionally known, we had 4 coaches firings. Kevin Stefanski from Cleveland, probably the most notable. And I kid you not, this came out 3 minutes ago from Adam Schefter, that he is expected to speak with the Falcons, Giants, and the Titans about their head coach vacancies.
Yeah, Kelly, it sure appears that he's been done a favor to get out of Cleveland.
George, and it pains me to say that too, man, because that was one of my teams, and they when the Learners owned the team, there was nothing that they wouldn't do for us. All we had to do was win, and we got the wrong guy in place, and they just it's amazing. I use this example all the time, but since the 70s, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 coaches. And you look at the turnover for the Cleveland Browns, it's unbelievable. Like it's just a revolving door, and I don't know. The city deserves better than that. They're such great fans. It's unreal to me, all the coaches that they've gone through.
Kelly, I know you're part of this number of quarterbacks that have played at Cleveland since whatever year. Is that number not like up in the 50s?
It's crazy. I don't even know, George, but I will say this: like we had a really good football team the year we went to the playoffs, and the Steelers came back and beat us at their place. We had them down. We had a really good team. If they would have kept that team together and just added some pieces, I could have stayed there, and it could have been a different outcome. But like they totally tore the team away, and that right there set the Cleveland Browns on this path. In my opinion, it set them on this path of losing consistently year in and year out.
And yet they somehow decided they wanted to keep their general manager, which I don't understand. Atlanta, they fired their general manager, Terry Fontenot, as well as Raheem Morris. That one was you could see coming.
By the way, how cold is that business when Raheem Morris finishes his post-game press conference? He goes over and hugs Arthur Blank and Blank's son. I wonder if anybody whispered, we need to see you in our office and bring your playbook.
And bring your playbook, please.
Because you are gone.
Gone.
How cold is that?
Do you think he was trying to get some sympathy, George?
I don't know. Supposedly he does this. First of all, everything I know about Raheem Morris, solid citizen. Players love playing for him. I kind of feel like the whole Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins thing has sort of put that franchise in kind of unsteady ground, if you will.
Because their defense got continually better. I mean, they finally were able to get to the quarterback this year, something they haven't been able to do. They hired Matt Ryan, by the way, too, as president of football ops. So something to keep note of. The Las Vegas Raiders have fired Pete Carroll, and the Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon. So that rounds out Black Monday. I don't know if any other moves are expected.
Well, and Cincinnati chose to keep Zach Taylor, which was not a given.
How does he still have a job?
He took a team to a Super Bowl.
But what have they done since? They're stubborn. Stubborn as heck on defense.
They're bad. They're bad on defense.
I got one more thing. Trinidad Chambliss has received a 6th year of eligibility and will be back with Ole Miss next year. Hotty toddy.
Well,
it got supposedly this has got to get cleared by the clearinghouse, whatever that means.
Who knows?
You know, it's funny because a group of us this morning, before this got out, were whispering LSU.
Oh, you think he's going?
Well, think about it. I mean, it was an easy rumor to make up. This kid's stock off of what he did Thursday night in the win over Georgia absolutely skyrocketed. Lane Kiffin's looking for a quarterback. You know, what better scenario than to poach Ole Miss?
That would be hardcore. You talking about ruthless? That would be hardcore, George.
We are living in different times. Okay.
Yes, we are.
You're done.
I'm done.
That was wonderful. After the break, we'll come back and we'll have some Titans analysis. And let me say up front, it's a little cynical.
Good. I'm sure Kelly's feeling cynical today, so it'll work out perfect.
Either way, this is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Here's David Levy of Levy's Men's and Women's Wear in Green Hills.
Hey, George. As a 170-year-old clothier, we are loaded for the holiday season with great gift items for you or your significant other. Plus, we have front door parking, experienced associates to answer your questions, free gift wrap, and we are surprisingly affordable, even for you. This holiday season, treat yourself to a touch of luxury without any of the fuss. Levy's Green Hills, 3900 Hillsborough Pike, across from Virtus and behind Donut Den.
At Wilson Bank & Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank & Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away
at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhouseCalls.com.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
We're back, and it is more than a feeling on this Monday afternoon. The weather is beautiful. We're in early January, the dead of winter, and it doesn't feel like it. And hopefully this will continue, although, don't expect it. Now, let's get to what you do expect, and that is some Titans analysis. And let's face it, what is it you say about what went on yesterday in Jacksonville?
You didn't need to watch the whole game.
Shockingly, and I didn't. There are more positives than negatives. Let's run through them. The positives, the season is over. Thank God.
Mercifully over.
Think back to the first game in Denver where Brian Callahan decides to go for the jugular against Denver, pinned down at your 6-yard line with a minute left in the first half, and the whole thing went completely haywire from there. Number 2 positive, and I mean this one, Kelly, I'm convinced that Borgonzi winning whatever power struggle, whatever went on, that basically had them say, okay, this is a professional general manager who doesn't have to check in with Chad Brinker every time he wants to do something. I think that's a positive.
I think that's a huge positive. We've talked about it earlier in the year, George. When you have so many heads, it goes back to the old saying you got more Chiefs than you got Indians, and when you have all these people trying to make decisions, nobody's making a decision. You have to have one guy at the helm who, whether he's right or wrong, he's being decisive and he's making decisions about the organization. And he's come from an organization that understands how to win games, understands how to bring personnel in to help you win games. And with his draft last year, I think things are looking up. I feel positive about it. I really do, because I think some of those guys have hit. I think they're going to be some good football players in the future. And if you're right, and obviously you are, I'm glad that the decision has been made, because the guy, I think, knows what he's doing, and he's been around a bunch of people that know what they're doing.
He just seems very commonsensical, which is what this organization needs. They don't need people trying to outthink the room. Just bring in good football players, and that'll take care of a lot of this. But I've listened to a lot of his press conferences. I've been at a lot of his press conferences, and he is by far the most intelligent football person in the room.
Yeah. It's not a lengthy list.
No, not whatsoever. But it's a huge win for the fans that he's leading the coaching search. And that, honestly, I mean, when you have a season like this and there's not a lot to be hopeful about, that is one of the few things that you have Mike Borgonzi leading the coaching search.
Okay, so let's get to the third positive, a high draft pick. Number 4 at the moment, and this comes as part of the misery meter. The more misery you go through September until the end of the season, the better your draft pick. Kelly, there are teams out there that need a quarterback, and that's pretty obvious. It's easy to pinpoint. It doesn't feel like a great quarterback draft again.
Right.
My question is, are they simply in the end going to have to say, let's take a stud at number 4, or will there be somebody who says, we'll give you a haul to trade down? What do you think?
Man, I don't know, George. That's what makes this time of year, in the coming months till April, it makes it so interesting because you hear all these rumors and everybody lies and nobody actually knows what's going on. I don't know if there's a quarterback out there that is maybe Fernando Mendoza. I just don't know if it seems like it's kind of down to me. And you've already got your guy. I don't know. Hopefully somebody comes around and says, "Hey, we'll give you multiple picks for that fourth pick." But I think don't y'all think that they've got to have a pass rusher and they've got to have a left tackle. I mean, there's so many other areas that they need, but they've got to have one of those two guys. And if one of those two guys is there and he's a difference maker, I think you have to take him. I really do. But it's just so it's so cool to me when everybody thinks they know what's going to happen and what's going to go on, and then you get down to the last nit and gritty down at the end, and then everything changes. So, they're the fourth pick now. Will they get a bunch of people for that to come in after that to try to? I just don't know if that's going to be the year. So I don't know what they're going to do with the pick, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kelly. I'd love a Francis Mauigoa from Miami or a Spencer Fano from Utah. The only problem is you're paying Dan Moore $85 million or 84 or whatever it was, and I don't know how easily accessible it is to get out of the contract if they wanted to after this next season. But you have J.C. Latham at right. I don't see him flipping back to left. So I don't know, but the pass rusher department, you can get an Arvell Reese or a Reuben Bain. Maybe you could even get a receiver. But I've kind of been thinking about, there's a possibility, I don't know how likely it is, that quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3. So if there's not a good or a high-level quarterback left on the board, would it be realistic that there's a trade partner where you could trade back?
Don't know, man.
Mendoza is one of the three.
Right.
Yeah.
Who do you feel are the others?
Well, Mel Kiper has Dante Moore as his best quarterback. So if Fernando Mendoza goes 1, Dante Moore is probably not too far behind, and then Ty Simpson somewhere in there.
Okay.
Is that really what they're saying about Ty Simpson, Parker?
Really? Yeah. So I believe I was looking today that Ty Simpson is out of the best available prospects, he's top 3 quarterback. He might be somewhere within the top 15. Oh no, he's a top 7 prospect on ESPN.
He would benefit from some level of blitz pickup.
Oh yeah,
he would benefit. Yes, absolutely would. Good gracious.
So you all saw where under negatives I put pathetic ending. It was pathetic. I mean, let's face it. It is in Titan world not the most pathetic. Pac-Man Jones's rookie year, they went to Jacksonville and got beat 41-3. Pac-Man got thrown out of the game. And then there was a fight on the plane coming home that involved our little angel Pac-Man. So as pathetic as yesterday was, Kelly, I got to say this. You could see this coming a mile away. And frankly, I think the coaching staff, even on an interim basis, did a pretty darn good job of keeping them focused most of the year. Because let's face it, from about August the 30th on, you knew this was hopeless.
Yeah, they did, George. I tend to agree with you. I do. I thought those guys played, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I've been on teams like that. I've been on a 3-12 team where we were going into the last game, and you just couldn't wait for the season to be over, George. And when Cam Ward, when they go down and they score, and I say it all the time, but when you have something to play for, well, hey, maybe this is different. Maybe this is different today. And then when he gets hurt, all the air is taken out of the balloon. I mean, it just, you understand, like this guy, the Allen kid has not played all year. Cam Ward's taken every snap. It's just hard for a backup to come in. He's already got his car packed. They're ready to go. And I remember it was a learning lesson for me, George, because I was a rookie and I played for the Indianapolis Colts. We were 3-12 going into the last game of the year. We played the Minnesota Vikings, who I played with at the end of my career, and we played in the Metrodome, and that was the loudest place I've ever played, other than Kansas City. And I can remember Harbaugh got hurt. I was backing him up. Jim Harbaugh got hurt, and I was backing him up. And I went into the huddle, and the place was so loud the dudes couldn't hear me. And then I was not prepared. I was ready to come back to Murfreesboro, to come back to Middle Tennessee. I can't say that I didn't prepare, but like it just got on me. And I think I had 16 or 17 plays, George, and I had 5 turnovers. And I can remember John Randall screaming at me saying, "Hey, Holcomb, if you're going to turn it over, we'll take it," and all that garbage. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And to beat everything, I stayed at Indianapolis, obviously, but Jim Mora did the game on TV. And then I went in and I met with Jim Mora. And he said, "Hey, the last time I saw you was in Minneapolis." And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got a great opportunity to make in this team next year. But that's just how it's human nature, George, when you're that bad and it's the last game of the year. If you don't have a positive start, and they did have a positive start, but then when Cam Ward gets hurt, man, everything goes downhill, and it's just human nature. Jacksonville's playing for something. They still had an opportunity, if things fell in the right place, to be the number 1 team, the number 1 overall seed in the AFC, which is kind of crazy. But they were playing for something. And when that happened to Cam Ward, all the air came out, and it sucks as a team. It sucks that you're that bad, but that's just where they were this season.
Let me ask both of you this. Does this injury create a value for Will Levis that truthfully wasn't there? And secondly, does this team welcome him back, or is he sort of radioactive?
I don't know if it brings any value to it. I just don't know, George. I feel as though just watching him and seeing him play in college and seeing him play with the Titans, and I might be totally wrong. This is just looking from the outside in, but I think that it would be hard for him. I think he's got kind of a little bit of an ego, and I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think it would be hard for him to come back and take that backup role, which he's probably going to have to do anyway somewhere else. But I think Cam Ward is deserved, and he's fought through this year, and he's gained some experience, and he's the guy. He's the number 1 pick, and I don't see any value there, George. I wouldn't keep him. I really wouldn't, because I can see a rift in the locker room with him. I may be totally wrong, but that's just my thoughts on that, because they're as bad as they were. They don't need that going on for next year. Now, what is the injury to Cam Ward, and how long is he going to be out? Because Terry talked about it, and I know he's got months, and there are things he needs to work on, but I just couldn't see both those guys, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I just couldn't see them together. I just can't see Will Levis being that type of guy coming back in trying to help, because he's going to want an opportunity to play and to have an opportunity to fight for that job, and I don't think it's there. I think Cam Ward's the guy.
I think it showed the value that of having a serviceable backup quarterback, and I do not think Brandon Allen is that. Now, if I were the Titans, I would try to do right by Will Levis, because he cost the team a lot of games last year. Clearly, many people thought that he was talented coming out of Kentucky. So if you still believe that, well, send him to a McVay, send him to a Kevin O'Connell, send him to a Shanahan, somebody that can get the most out of him, because I don't think he's going to achieve that here. But if you're looking at the quarterback market for next year, guys that could come open, there are several guys that I would try to go after if I'm the Titans, because you need a serviceable backup, because at some point, and that was proven this year, Cam Ward was very durable, but even he got hurt at the end of the year, and Brandon Allen had to step in. He didn't look like he was ready. At some point, if you're a backup quarterback in the NFL, you're going to play and you got to be ready. So I think that shows the value that the Titans need a serviceable backup quarterback.
And that's the thing, George. That's the thing that really sucks too, because I've been in that situation, and I was a backup for a long time, then became a starter, and then you have to, just like the story that I just told you, you have to be ready, and that was a learning experience for me. You have to be ready each and every time, and I was lucky that I was able to stay in the league for as long as I did after having that outing that I had, because I didn't come as this heralded first round pick, so I had to work my way up. But like, you hate saying this about Brandon Allen, but like yesterday, and he's playing with a bad team, but you have to make some of those throws, George. And I just, we've talked about it all year, and I know Brian Callahan and he were really close, but like, I just don't think he's the guy for the future to be a backup, because I think, and I'm hoping that Borgonzi gets this roster up, and I'm thinking there's some winning ahead. And if you do start winning, you've got to have somebody behind Cam Ward that can then makes things happen. I don't even know if Will Levis can do that. I don't think we saw enough out of Will Levis. But I think the turmoil with that, I just don't think that would be a good thing.
Okay, let me toss one more thing out there and get y'all's thoughts. John Fossil has clearly come in here and cleaned up an absolute cesspool in special teams. Special teams was a complete and total joke a year ago, and he walked in and immediately it was 10 times better. I would like to see him, even if it's more for show than it is for go, that he get interviewed for this head coaching job, and then whoever does get the job, priority number one's keeping this guy.
100%, George. And I've said it before. I think John Fossil would be an excellent hire. I really do. I think he needs an opportunity. You see what John Harbaugh has done. He's been there forever in Baltimore. He's won a Super Bowl. And he was a special teams coach for the Philadelphia Eagles when I was there. And I just think John Fossil brings energy. I think he brings some knowledge. He's got experience. He's been in this game with his dad being a coach. He understands the game. I would love for him to get an interview, and I would love for him to knock it out of the park, and they give him an opportunity, because I think he's one of those guys that if you give him that opportunity, I think guys respect him. I think guys would play for him, and I think that would be – I do. I think it would be a home run. I think he would be really good, and I might be totally wrong about that. I hope he gets an opportunity. I'm like you, George.
Yeah, I think there's this kind of unspoken narrative that, if you're next in line to be an NFL head coach, you have to be offensive or defensive coordinator, but special teams is just as valuable, because if you think about Bones Fossil, he's – kind of different touch points all throughout the roster. He's working with offensive guys, defensive guys, and helping them be as great as they are on special teams. And guys love him. He's high energy. I wouldn't mind if the Titans interviewed him, but obviously I don't think he's going to get it. But the number one priority should be retaining him, because you had a team that had not returned a punt for a touchdown since 2012, and then you get Shim Dike, and he has 3 and almost 4. If it weren't called back due to a penalty. So you got to keep Bones Fossil. Guys love playing for him. If you didn't retain him, the guys that are carried over from the roster from this year to next probably would not be happy about that.
Okay. After the break, we're going to get into the playoff schedule that has been released and give you a few of our own thoughts as to who's going somewhere and who's going home in a hurry. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports.
Hey, this is George Plaster. As all of you know, the college football playoff continues, and it's going to be hot and heavy. Thursday, it's the Ole Miss Rebels and the University of Miami. Friday, it's Indiana and Oregon. And guess what? We'll be at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall for both of those games, inviting you to join us for all the college football playoff fun.
Here's David Levy of Levy's Men's and Women's Wear in Green Hills.
George, Levy's holiday collection is packed with bold looks, cozy favorites, and gifts that will make you and your loved ones smile. Come visit us at Levy's and let us help you celebrate the holidays in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere with plenty of front door parking, free gift wrap, and we are surprisingly affordable. Levy's, 3900 Hillsborough Pike, across from Virtus and behind Donut Den.
Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
We'll roll right off the top. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Very interesting things that have come out of the NFL playoff release of the schedule. One of those being that the league must be in a real something or other to suck up to Prime. Prime got the Green Bay-Chicago game Saturday night in prime time.
Wow.
That stunned me.
That is stunning, George. That's eventually the NFL. We've all said this. We all talk about the money and the money that's in it and around it. I hope it don't go to streaming on every game because I'm afraid that's going to happen at some point. We're going to see the CBS and the Fox and all that. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I can see that happening, George. I really can. Like 10 years down the road, if you want to watch the NFL, you're going to have to stream it. You're going to have to buy a subscription to something or another. And I hope that doesn't happen.
Kelly, I saw a tweet. It was right before Christmas that if you wanted to watch every NFL game over the Christmas break, you needed like 9 different streaming services. And that just was not the case like 10 years ago.
No,
it's the league showing its money grubby side, which has always been there, but under Commander Goodell has never been more prevalent than it is right now. It is grab every last dollar you can. They act like they're going bankrupt, and I'm here to let you know they're not.
They're not. They're doing very well. They're doing very well.
Okay, let's post the schedule and talk about a few things. I'm going to go right to left on your radio dial and go to the NFC first, where Seattle has earned the 1 seed in the first round bye. Kelly, I don't know when I have been more shocked. Seattle beat the holy hell out of San Fran. Yeah. That was a physical mismatch.
I could not believe that, George. After the 49ers and Brock Purdy, since he's come back from injury, they were hitting on all cylinders. Like their punter only punted twice in the month of December. That was amazing to me. Like you couldn't stop them, and then Seattle comes to their place and does that to them. Like they couldn't block them. Now, obviously, the Hall of Famer Trent Williams was out at left tackle for them, so that was huge because the kid that they had in there could not block anybody that lined up over him. So they did have some problems then, and then it was just one of those deals where Brock Purdy was bringing them down. Then he had that ball kind of tipped, and Christian McCaffrey botched it on the way, and then the linebacker picked it off. That's kind of one of those deals where, hey, this is not your day. But like Seattle, can you imagine what Minnesota's thinking right now? Minnesota allows Sam Darnold to go, and they were in a situation where they had to because they got J.J. McCarthy, but I just can't. I can't imagine what Sam Darnold has gone through and now how he's playing. He's playing lights out, and that team, Mike McDonald's got that team rolling, and they're really good defensively. They can move the ball offensively. They got some guys on offense that can do, and then Sam Darnold is orchestrating all of it. They're really good.
I thought that would be an absolute heavyweight title fight.
Yep.
Seattle at San Fran Saturday night, and instead it looked like somebody from San Fran threw the towel into the ring in the second round and said, no mas. It was a beating. Let me ask you all this question. At the bottom, I get the fact that nobody particularly is impressed with Carolina. As the 4 seed, they get the home game against a Rams team that with a few breaks could have been the 1 seed. But Vegas, do you know what the line is on that game?
What is it?
I haven't looked.
What do you think it is? Because remember, Carolina won at home in Charlotte when these two teams played about 6 weeks ago.
My guess would be LA 10.5 at least.
I'm going to say 7.5. The Rams
10.5.
Oh my gosh, really?
And then in the middle, the 49ers at Philly. And the more I watch Philly, the more I don't believe.
I feel
George,
like
you
they
just
kind of
never
figured it out a little bit the last couple of weeks at least.
you just never know who's going to show up though. Is AJ Brown going to throw a tantrum this week? Is he going to be all in Jalen Hurts' ear? Then is Devontae Smith going to be he's going to be the silent assassin with all that stuff? And I don't know. They've got the team. They obviously won it last year. Maybe they can get on a hot streak. I don't know. The 49ers are beat up. I can't believe that Kyle Shanahan's done what he's done this year with those guys. It's incredible. And Fred Warner, is he coming back? I don't think he's coming back now. I think he said he could make the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If they make it to that, but that's a tough place to play in Philadelphia, and the way the 49ers got shellacked the other day, and with their injuries, like if George Kittle's playing, that's going to help them some. But like they have to, and Ricky Pearsall didn't play, so they've got to get guys back. I don't know how he's band-aided those guys up this year, but I think that's a tough place to play. And if Philly gets it right and they start hitting on all cylinders, they're going to be a contender again.
I think Kelly hit the nail on the head. It's all about who shows up, because if we get the Eagles defense that showed up in Buffalo 2 Sundays ago versus the 49ers, who had to scratch and claw for every inch they could get on Saturday versus the Seahawks, I could see the Eagles winning. I think they've played well the last 2 games, but it all depends. Are we going to get the Eagles from 5 weeks ago when they were not playing well versus Chicago? So it's just all dependent on who shows up.
So Denver gets the 1 seed in the first round bye in the AFC. Number one, I like Denver. They really play defense. I like Bo Nix, but I'm not buying that this team as a 1 seed gets to the big one. And there are just too many lapses offensively where they don't get anything done.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with Tony Romo said it during the broadcast when he did the game. There's 2 things that you can rely on in the playoffs for the AFC, and I think one of them is Denver's defense. They're really good, George, and they can stop people, and they can rush the passer. You don't have much time against those guys. They got Patrick Surtain in the back end. They got guys that can get the ball. They turn people over. They stop people. That's one thing that travels. And even if Bo Nix or the offense is not having a great game, the defense can keep them in it, even at this time of year. So I think they put up a thing where there hadn't been a team that started off 1-4 and ever been a number 1 seed like they did earlier in the year. And it's amazing what they've done. And Bo Nix is obviously, when he was at Auburn, I just thought he ran around too much, man. But then he goes to Oregon, he goes to Parker School, and he kind of transforms himself. And the guy's a good player. I mean, he can make people miss.
Yeah, he was a Cougar.
I don't know. But I just know that what they do defensively, man, it travels, and I think they got a shot at this thing. I really do.
I've been texting with a buddy. I have no idea who's going to make the Super Bowl from the AFC side. I have a pretty good idea on the NFC side who can make it, but from the AFC, I think there are 5 legit teams that I could see making it. And I'm with you, George. I don't know. I know Denver's defense is Super Bowl caliber, but is the offense, and are they gonna be able to keep winning these close games? These come from behind. I have no idea, but I think the Jags and the Texans are very interesting, because they're 2 of the hottest teams in the entire league right now. So if they get, put in favorable positions, watch out for them too.
Next week, when the Bills are out, because I think they will be, you'll start to hear all this, oh, Josh Allen isn't good enough, to which I say, give me a flipping break. It's about their defense.
Their defense is not good enough. Sometimes they can't stop traffic. It's amazing, but I'm going to say this. When you pay a guy all the money that they pay Josh Allen, it's hard to keep guys on defenses and hard to get free agents to come in. That's just the way it is, man. I'm sorry. That's the way the game is set up now with all this money. And when you've got a guy that is making an extraordinary amount of money as your quarterback, and they all deserve to get paid, but you can't pay anybody else, and that's what suffers.
The Texans-Steeler game, the over-under is 4.
Really?
In favor of the Texans?
The over-under.
Oh, the over-under.
That's the number of points scored in the game.
Thank you, George.
You're welcome. It didn't seem to register. I think that is going to be a damn slobber knocker. Those are 2 teams that will knock the crap out of each other.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
And it was kind of amazing last night that Aaron Rodgers, he was able to stay in the pocket, and what he did, he doesn't have anybody much to throw to except those 2 running backs and Freiermuth. But like the week before, when Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns got after him, it was a totally different game. That happens at every quarterback, but like they've got Will Anderson. They got those guys that can rush the passer for the Texans. It's going to be interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers holds up against that.
We're done for hour number 1. College football next. Stay with us.
Bar Lines is conveniently located inside the Omni Nashville Hotel across from Bridgestone Arena. Bar Lines is the perfect spot for Preds and arena concert fans year-round. Catch your favorite team on one of their 22 jumbo flat-screen HD TVs. Bar Lines offers their award-winning menu of delectable Southern-inspired dishes and handcrafted Tennessee libations. Their team takes pride in using locally produced foods and regional spirit vendors to create offerings that are uniquely Nashville. Park at the Omni and enjoy Bar Lines before and after Bridgestone events.
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, has a path to a dignified career. Are you a skilled electrician or lineman? Tired of dead-end, low-paying jobs? Local 429 is accepting applications for highly skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org.
Here's to a big 2026 from everyone at IBEW. It's gonna be a great year.
At DePaul University, your dreams don't wait for opportunity. We meet 100% of each student's demonstrated financial need. Nothing should stand between you and your potential. Visit depauw.edu.
Don't miss out on the OVC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships presented by United Fidelity Bank as it returns to the Ford Center in downtown Evansville from March 4th through the 7th. All session tickets are on sale now through each Ohio Valley Conference School's ticket office and at the Ford Center box office. Visit ovcsports.com/Evansville for more details and be sure to be there to OVC it in person as the first entrance into March Madness and the NCAA tournaments are crowned.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobus. Our forecast staying sunny into the afternoon and this evening, and high temperatures climbing well into the 60s after a cold start to the day. Tonight, not nearly as cold as last night, only dropping down to right near 50.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Is Mozambique the best country name of all time?
I thought that was a person.
Mozambique?
You thought Mozambique was a person?
The way you just said it was like Mozambique. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
You thought it was a basketball player?
Do you think the Knicks should play Mozambique?
Against the Spurs, Mike Brown really went to his bench. Yeah. Mozambique played some critical
minutes.
minutes.
Here's the thing. Tibbs would never have used Mozambique.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Amber and Ian.
Ian said he's never getting on a cruise.
Nope, not happening.
All right, so what bothers you about a cruise? I've been on a billion cruises.
Nope. If I'm going on vacation, I want mountains, and I'm not
You
even
get off the cruise boat.
Yeah,
like, you're not
I know.
just on the boat.
Well, where? But while you are on the boat, guess what? You ain't going anywhere.
No, it's
right?
great because
It's a seagoing vessel.
It's like a hotel
Takes
room
one
that
torpedo
moves.
from a pirate. You're done. You're
what-
out.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Time for our stat of the day, brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. The Bears host the Packers in the playoffs Saturday night, the first playoff game at Soldier Field since 2019. Who did the Bears play that night? Hint, it's an infamous game.
Kelly, it's the double doink game where Cody Parkey hit one of the uprights with a field goal at the buzzer, and then it hit the bottom crossbar, creating double doink. 18-16 Philly is your final.
Crazy, George. What a memory. You go for it.
I think this is it.
Double doink. There you go.
Double doink.
The infamous
Wow.
You know who the head coach was?
of
Chicago.
Yep, Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy.
See, that's what George. That's what scares me, man. I know that guys need another chance and another chance to be successful, but like he had his opportunity, and then you see what Ben Johnson's come in there and done, and I don't know, George. It scares me for the Titans. It really does.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my Chicago friends texted me today and said, "Don't do it," in all caps.
Well, anyway, we welcome all of you into hour number 2 of the show from our digs at the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue, where the sun is out. And when the show is over, I'm not saying the sun will be out, but it is getting lighter a little bit later. That's
Praise
kind
the
of nice.
Lord.
Yes, that's kind of nice. Kelly.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you about something that I've heard. By the way, we'll open the phone lines, give or take 420, 425. Want you all to have the opportunity to weigh in. Think about this, because Kelly, you and I have traveled with sports teams. You as a player, me as a broadcaster. Most of the time, the media traveling, if they get to travel with a team, are in the back. Coaching staff is normally up front. The one exception being with Coach Newton, who sat in the back and told me when I asked him that a plane, to his knowledge, has never backed into a mountain.
That's a
pretty good
one.
one. Yeah.
It is a good one.
Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. So think about this setting on Thursday night. At least I think it was Thursday night. Ole Miss has just gotten this Godzilla win that not many of us truly thought they could get.
Right.
Most of us believed that in the end, Georgia would physically whip them at the line of scrimmage and send them packing. That didn't happen. Trinidad Chambliss was out of his mind, played the game of his life, and there may be even more to that than we know. He may be that good. So you've got a traveling party that's got to be euphoric. You know, they're at the tarmac. They're about to all get on the plane. The players are high-fiving. Where are the coaches? What the hell? All of a sudden, the players figure out that some of the coaches aren't going back with them, which has to be a total downer. Here you are celebrating the biggest football moment you've had in years. You've had a crowd at the Sugar Bowl, 70-30, according to friends of mine, in favor of Ole Miss. They spring this huge victory, and then the players are about to get on the plane, and they discover that where are some of the coaches? Well, some of the coaches aren't traveling with us. They're going to LSU because old Lanius, basically what he was saying was, I'll give you the coaches for a week, but Georgia's going to kick your ass. You won't have to worry about it. Isn't that ultimately what it was?
I'm sure that's what he thought.
So, Kelly, with all this as a backdrop, how in the world, with all of this stuff going on around them, how in the world do you get your football team back up and ready to face this Miami machine? That worries me for Ole Miss.
George, I'm telling you, I think this new crop of players are different. And I'm thinking when you were telling me that, I'm thinking back to the situation where we just knew that our coaches were going to be there. But like, if we had a big win like that, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't give a flip of my coaches, if any of them, if even the head coach wasn't on the plane. Hey, we're having a time of our life, man. We just won a game. If they go take another charter flight somewhere else, or they go take a private plane somewhere else, like I'm with all my boys. I'm not worried about that. And I get where you're coming from, George. I just think that these guys are used to it now. I don't think it bothers them like it probably would have bothered us. I think you're right about that. I don't think Lane Kiffin thought that they would be in this situation. Supposedly, I mean, it came on the bottom screen, did it not, that he and Pete Golden had worked something out. I mean, supposedly, I don't know where all this is going, but it's a unique situation. It truly is. But I don't know if the players are as worried about it as everybody thinks they are.
That's an
I may be wrong with that.
on this. No, you may well be right that these are players getting a paycheck, and as such, they are professionals. They're not just college kids looking for old science hall. By the way, most of these players in the playoff have no clue where old science hall is because none of them are going to school.
That's right. But like they've already seen what Lane Kiffin did. they've already been through that, and they know that these coaches are leaving. But like, if it was me and we just had a huge win like that, I'm not worried about Coach Donnelly. I'm not worried about Coach Robbins. I'm having a flight with my boys, and we're going to celebrate. Now, Coach Donnelly probably would not have let us celebrate like that, but I wouldn't have worried about who was on the plane. I wouldn't even have known if they were gone. I'll be honest with you. I would not have known that. I wouldn't care.
Now,
We just had the game of our.
Hold on a sec.
Tell me.
Maybe you wouldn't have, but you don't think one of your teammates wouldn't have been walking up and down the aisle going, "Psst, Coach so-and-so here. Hey, did you hear? Coach so-and-so not here. 4 inches of snow in Memphis moving this way." I mean, that stuff spreads like wildfire.
George, I just don't see that, man. I just don't like. They know what's going on in college sports. Lane Kiffin just showed what's going on in college sports. He was their head coach, and if I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought about this the other day. Wouldn't it be ironic? I don't know if Ole Miss can do it because they're playing a juggernaut right now who's really playing well. But wouldn't it be great if Pete Golding and the Ole Miss Rebels won the national championship? Would you give him a ring? Absolutely not.
Lane Kiffin?
Yes.
Screw him.
No.
He's the head coach of LSU.
Absolutely
That's the
not.
mentality of the players right there. Exactly what you said. Screw them. That's the mentality of the players right now.
That's what I'm hoping for, man. I'm not for any individual organization or university, but like it would be so ironic if Pete Golding, who's the new head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, like the other night, I loved it because he went out there and he slapped the kicker on the rear end, and it just was an uplift. And I'm like, I think that's kind of the guy that he is. And it would just be so ironic if he wins this thing and Lane Kiffin said, "I'm leaving because I can't win it at Ole Miss," but yet Pete Golding won it with your players. I love it. That would be awesome.
They could make a movie out of that. That's for sure.
By the way, the kicker at Ole Miss, you know, he had an unbelievable game. Hit a couple of 55-yard
That's
plus
Cam
field
Little
goals.
Jr. right there.
Oh, it's Oklahoma's guy, Junior.
Yeah.
Remember the Oklahoma kid against Tennessee?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Basically underwear out there. Yeah.
Okay. Point well taken that maybe number one, these kids don't care about any of that.
Different age, man. Different times.
Maybe it is. And maybe this has had the totally opposite effect and has unified Ole Miss beyond anybody's wildest dreams, that they've all gotten in somebody's apartment and said, "Screw Lane Kiffin," probably have burned him in effigy, probably had a little bonfire, you know.
Burned a visor, one of his visors that he wore. Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe I haven't thought this through right, but I know what I have thought through right. Oregon ain't beating Indiana.
Parker, have your shot, buddy. It's your team.
Okay.
You've been to Outson Stadium. Let's hear it. I want to hear
I have
it.
been to Autzen Stadium once in my life. I will
What
say,
does that qualify you for?
I just like saying
Nothing.
it. I mean, how many?
Absolutely
have you guys
nothing.
been to Autzen Stadium?
No, and I don't
No,
really
I'm
wanna
not
go.
ever
You don't
going
go to
either.
Autzen Stadium?
I'm not going.
Okay, whatever.
Book
That's
it.
beside
Hey,
the point.
book it.
Besides, but before the playoffs, I thought that Oregon would beat Indiana in the rematch if they happened to get there. Now I'm having a lot of reservations given how good Indiana. I mean, they dominated Alabama from start to finish. I don't think Oregon's defense is going to be a problem. I just worry about the offense because they scored 6 points on 6 trips to the red zone against Texas Tech, and that's not going to be good enough. So I'm rolling with Indiana.
I'm going to tell you right now, like watching Indiana, Kurt Cignetti is Nick Saban Jr. Like there is no rock that's unturned. He has those guys in a state of mind right now where they know every situation. They're fundamentally sound. And just like Paul Feinbaum said, I guarantee you not one of those kids at Indiana were ever recruited by Alabama. And I guarantee you there weren't many 5-stars on that team, on the 5-stars on that team as well. But you're talking about a guy that has coached them up, that has got a staff that can coach, who gets those guys ready for each and every situation. It's fun watching those kids, and they play hard, and they're fundamentally sound, and they know what they're doing. And everybody keeps saying, well, and I think it was last year when they made the playoffs, they got to experience that a little bit. And this year it's been totally different. They're ready for the moment, and they've got a quarterback that's ready for the moment. And they've got guys on offense that are hardcore. And I think, me personally, think they got the best O-line in the country. And they're schemed up. They know what they're doing, and it's fun to watch. And it's amazing to think that they beat an Alabama team who's third in the history of college football of winning games, and Indiana is the second worst of losing games. And when you think about Alabama and Indiana and what happened the other day, I think that's done something to the mystique of Alabama. I really do, because Indiana is unbelievably talented, and they're unbelievably well disciplined, and they're really well coached.
I watched a video yesterday, Kelly, of Kurt Signetti talking about their practices. And, with how good Indiana is, I'm sure that the average person would think that they are in football facilities 12 hours out of the day. But he talks about how they have an hour 45-minute practice on Tuesday, or an hour 35 practice on Wednesday. They have a short walkthrough on Monday, shorter walkthrough on Friday. But they're very efficient with their time, and there's no grab button. There's no fooling around. It is all business. And that's exactly how Indiana plays. And they have the perfect person who is the face of their program right now, and Fernando Mendoza, who one of the most intelligent football people in the sport right now. And people love playing for him. But Kurt Signetti, you're right, Kelly. Right now, it's hard to find a better coach.
Okay. Stop on that for a second, though. It's one thing to get the job. Okay, he was at James Madison, had good credentials. Ohio State, Indiana hires him. Okay, he comes out that night at the pep rally, at halftime of the basketball game, and says something to the effect of, "Google me, I win.
I win." Yep.
We're going to take down Ohio State. We're going to take down Michigan.
I'm pretty sure he said they sucked too.
Yes, he did. I cleaned it up a little. But Kelly, you know as well as I do, there were kids on that football team going, he has no idea what he's walking into. Now, they may not have said it to his face, but in somebody's dorm or somebody's apartment at Indiana, there were players going, what the hell is the deal with this guy? He has no clue what he's getting into. The sales job he must have done in the early going has to be one of the all-time great sales jobs in history.
Well, he knows how to pick personnel, George. I know that. And he brought a lot of those kids from James Madison with him that they said couldn't. They were at Group of Five, and he brought a lot of those kids to Indiana. And he obviously knows what he's looking for. That's what I think coaches nowadays, they have no clue what they're looking for. That's when you get into this recruiting realm, which I'd been in, all you have to do is get a big school to offer a kid, and then everybody's going to offer them. Like, nobody knows what they want. Everybody just goes off what other teams do, what other universities do. And I think Kurt Signetti and his staff know what they want in players. I think he knows what he wants in a quarterback. I think he knows what he wants in a lineman. I think on every position at every level, he knows what he's looking for. And he's looking for charactered guys who have a chip on their shoulder, who might not have been the most recruited guy in the world, but they're going to give you everything they've had. And I think that's what you see. And I also think, George, when you go to an Indiana like that and you've been so abysmal for so many years, you have to have an AD and a president at that university, which is willing to loosen some things and willing to give you whatever you need. And obviously, they sold out to him and what he was bringing to them and what he was advertising to them, saying, "Hey, if you give me this and give me that, we can win games." And obviously, it became important to them because they thought it was a big enough hire for them and a big enough situation where they gave him everything he wanted. I don't know if this will ever be. Can it be done again, guys, with what he's done in 2 years at a program that's historically bad?
We may never see anything quite like this.
Yeah.
Now, Parker, let me ask you this, because you've been in a college football locker room within the last 2-3 years. I would contend that at that basketball game where he got up and said that Ohio State sucked and Michigan sucked, there were likely football players at Assembly Hall kind of punching each other going, this guy's out of his friggin' mind. Does he have any idea what he's getting into? Would you deny that that probably went on?
Absolutely not. I mean, Indiana is the losingest team in the history of the Power Four. So to come out there and say, we're going to beat Indiana, or we're going to beat Ohio State, we're going to beat Michigan, the two top dogs in the Big Ten, like, yeah, I would be with the players. I'm like, what is this guy thinking? And then to come out and back it up, it's one thing to talk trash and not back it up. Completely different thing if you're doing it and you're backing it up. He said last year on game day, and I can't repeat what he said or else I'd get fired, but he said, we don't just beat teams, we beat the fill in the blank. And he's done that exactly.
The S word?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
That's Kurt Signetti for you.
Somewhere in here, this guy has done one of the most remarkable turnarounds for a school in college football history. And I wonder if we fully, totally appreciate it.
I don't know, George, but like I just love watching. Like I used to love watching Nick Saban teams because when you watched them, they always, and I'm talking about the defensive side of the ball, they always ran to the football. They always tackled guys. They always were good in space. They could get guys on the ground. They never missed. That's what Indiana's doing. They just had that tenacity about them, and he obviously coached under Nick Saban. It's amazing, George. I was thinking to myself, you look at the Nick Saban tree, every one of these dudes that are in the Final Four have all got ties to Nick Saban.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Every one of them. It's absolutely amazing. They've all coached for him.
Every one of them.
Every single one of them. And they've got guys on the staff that coach with Nick Saban. It's amazing the coaching tree that Nick Saban has sprouted out there in college sports and college football. And it's kind of incredible. And this guy right here is obviously at the top of the pyramid now, like Kirby Smart was. And I think he's still there, but like Kurt Signetti's getting up there as well. So it's just fun watching those guys play, and they play the game how the game's supposed to be played: hard, physical. They run to the football. They don't give up on stuff, and they go to the whistle. I love it. Enjoy
Parker,
watching it.
Repeat after me. The green machine is going down.
You know, I don't believe this is going to happen, but you know, if Oregon wins, Kelly, I really wish you were here on Friday because I wore an Oregon jacket. And I took a victory lap because people like you and George were saying their defense was not that good, and yet they shut out a team in the quarterfinal round. You know, you remember? If they beat Indiana on Friday, I will come in on Monday guns a-blazing.
The green machine is going down.
You could tell to start that. Yeah, you could tell to start that Texas Tech game when it happened. You could tell in the first 3 or 4 minutes that they have no answers for Oregon's defense. Like Texas Tech's defense was really good. They were unbelievable. But like they got to a point towards the second half, like in the second half, where they knew, hey, our offense can't do anything, and they just they were still hanging in there. But like defensively, they had a national championship caliber team, but you could tell that Oregon just was dominating them on the defensive side of the ball, and it just was not going to happen for Texas Tech.
They will have to do something really dramatic early to get Indiana in some sort of freak out. Because up till now, other than the Penn State game, everything has gone the way Indiana wants it.
Yep.
And if it starts out that way, your boys in green are going down. They're going to be walking the green mile.
Listen, I know. I'm picking Indiana to win the game. So I know.
Okay, we'll go to the break. We've had some fun. Now it's time for y'all to have some fun. Jump in on the phones at 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. Here's what we're looking for. At the very beginning, 4 red-blooded Americans who really want to talk some sports. You got that, Kelly?
I got that. You even got the red shirt, George. The last-minute toy store, baby.
Yes. They did great things.
I've got a hint of red right here. Yeah, there you go.
No, whatever. We'll go to the break. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. And Friends Celebrity Bowling Night.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
Where are you all? It's a little quiet on the phones. I've still got 2 lines that are open, and I want to get that taken care of. We've gotten into a ton of different football stuff today. We've gotten into a little bit of Titans. We've gotten into a little bit of the college football playoff, the NFL playoffs. So I got a couple of lines open, and I want to hear from you at 615-759-9949. 9949. Got 2 lines open. Jump in now. We'll get to you. Eric on line 1. Get us started.
Hey, George, I'm going to get to some college football towards the end and got some things I want to get your thoughts on. But I was going to talk about the Titans first and then about last night's Sunday night game. As far as the Titans, I hate, of course, like everybody else, that Cam Ward got hurt. But if you had to, you'd rather happen in the last game than early in the season, considering the way Brandon Allen played yesterday. I mean, I don't know if it would have been much better if we had any weapons or the offensive line was better or whatever. But I saw we were 17-30, and they said it was the first time in NFL history quarterback threw that many times and he had less than 100 yards passing. So, it was just good that he didn't have to come in early in the season. But it is what it is. But especially with all the interest in the secondary, you kind of expected that you could have gotten a performance like that yesterday. And as far as the coaching search, George, definitely I would love it if it was like Robert Saleh or Brian Flores. Wouldn't mind Brian Daboll, even Stefanski. And I'm kind of ambivalent on Matt Nagy. The one guy I don't want is McCarthy, because I think I've told you this before about his issues in Dallas, with the Cowboys being one of the most penalized teams. He had issues with clock management, situational football, and making adjustments. And he almost single-handedly blew the game against the Detroit Lions and was fortunate because he got bailed out by a horrible call against the Lions. So, but I'll leave that alone. George, as far as last night's Steelers-Ravens game, one of the most hilarious things was I know heading up when the NFL announced that game was a Sunday night game, I heard a bunch of people complaining on social media, and even there was some that were calling radio station airways. Said, why does that have to be the Sunday night game? Because everybody thought it was going to be a terrible game. And I was seeing a lot of people clamoring that they should have put the San Francisco-Seattle game on Sunday Night Football. I'm telling you, since they've had the Sunday Night Football, that was the best Sunday night game I've ever seen. I could not believe that was just such a wild ending. I don't know if you were talking about earlier, the Steelers-Texas game is really going to be slobber knocker, because I saw a stat where I think it was going into that game, the Steelers have given up something like, I think, 30 passing touchdowns or whatever it was. So I don't know how good that defense is going to be, because Houston's defense is tremendous, and it's just going to be interesting how that Texas defense, especially winning 9 in a row, go up against that Pittsburgh Steelers offense, because Pittsburgh can't run the ball. They are getting DK Metcalf back, which will hurt them, but that's going to be real interesting. George, last thing on the college football, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. And I saw a couple of interesting things over the weekend, of course, where I guess it was Vanderbilt's one of their top receivers has now entered the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that specifically had to do with the fact that Diego Pavia is not coming back, because of course Vanderbilt benefited from the transfer portal by getting Pavia, and now you've got one of the top receivers that's now leaving and going somewhere else. Do you think that specifically has to do with the fact that Pavia's not coming back? And also, I thought I saw a report where the Alabama quarterback, Thomas Simpson, is leaving, entering the transfer portal. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Guys, as always, pleasure to talk to you. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you. First of all, have y'all heard that?
I have not.
I haven't heard the Ty Simpson.
It's not a legit rumor.
Okay.
Yeah,
there was something floated out that if he were to leave and come back to Tennessee, it's not legit.
Yeah, if he goes anywhere, he's entering the NFL draft, I would think. I mean, that's not. I think he would stay at Alabama, and if he's not staying at Alabama, he's going to declare for the draft.
You know what I believe, Kelly?
What's that?
I believe Aaron Rodgers is playing next year.
He has left the door open.
I kind of think he is too, George. I just watching him, I think he loves Mike Tomlin. I think he loves the organization of Pittsburgh. And they said last night, that's what Mike Tomlin said. That's the reason that we brought Aaron Rodgers here, is to do this kind of stuff here. And he can still sling that ball. Now, he can't run like he did. And even even they were talking about it last night. He just can't move around like he should still move around pretty good, but like one of those opportunities that he had to get the first down, like Chris Collinsworth talked about it, he just couldn't do it. He used to be able to outrun guys, can't do it anymore. But I want to tell you right now, the guy uses his brain, and some of those throws he made, I mean, he can still make throws, man. It's unbelievable. And I've told y'all this before. I know it's an arguable deal because he hasn't won all the Super Bowls that Tom Brady or Peyton won. But in my opinion, it's not hands down, but in my opinion, he's the best quarterback to ever play the game, because I just love watching him play, and he can make every throw. He doesn't have to step into the throw, and he can do it at 42 years old.
I thought he could have got that first down if he would have scrambled. He just pulled up. I thought he could have got it.
Yeah, he's going to throw the ball more than he's going to scramble. Now, when he's got an open opportunity to scramble and nobody's around him, he's going to take off. But, like, he'd rather throw the ball. I can promise you that.
Because there was one time he did scramble for the first down, but on that first one, I thought he
but
pulled up.
on the one where he made the first down, I'd have gotten close.
No,
I thought he could have got that first down.
You would have pulled both hamstrings, George.
If he didn't hesitate, I thought Aaron Rodgers could have got it.
Let's go, Clay, on line 2. Clay, what's shaking?
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year to you.
George, one housekeeping note off the top. You know how Parker, I wanted to single out Parker today.
Mm-hmm.
So Parker gets his feelings hurt a little bit. I think on the lead-in, you need to change that promo where it says young son Billy Derrick. I think Parker deserves that level of respect.
Oh, Clay. I appreciate
I think you're right, Clay. I think you're right, Clay. But George is being lazy as usual. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not being lazy.
Have I finally earned my stripes?
I've got a lot of administrative duties. You know, if you continue this, I'll put Willie into the show.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Does that mean I get to leave?
Anytime you wish.
Before I get to my thoughts on Vandy's bowl game, I wanted to touch on that. But before I get to that, I wanted to ask the quarterback guru, the former NFL player, my buddy, Mr. Holcomb.
What's up, brother?
If you were to give Cam a grade for this season, and I think you have to look at a lot of things. You have to look at, the poor coaching earlier in the year. You have to look at the front office problems, all that kind of stuff. And, the kind of guys on the team that he had to throw to. I think overall he gets a passing grade. I was just wondering what you thought about that, Kelly.
Oh, I think he gets a real good passing grade. I'd give him probably a B-. I mean, I think the guy is. I've told y'all this from the beginning, Clay. I think the guy can be a franchise quarterback. Now, whether he gets there, I don't know that. I think he's got the tools. I think he's got the durability. I hated that happen. What happened to him yesterday, getting injured in the very last game and having this long process of rehabbing that shoulder, and hopefully that shoulder comes back. But I just think he's that guy. Like, there's so many times that he could have gotten down on himself and lost his confidence this year. I don't think that's who he is. I think he's made for this game. I think he's had so many things leading up to this in college, coming out of high school, having no stars, as everybody talked about, having no scholarship offers, and being the number one pick. I think he's the guy. Now, can they get guys around him? I think he had a really good year. Now, he learned and he got experience through the process. At the beginning, he was making some really bad mistakes towards the end. He's still holding the ball a little bit too long for me, Clay, but towards the end, I thought he got better, and I think it showed in his stats.
Moving on to the bowl game, great trip down other than the outcome. If you're honest about it, and I'm certainly not trying to be critical of Vanderbilt's defense, but I think at times the way the defense played, very inconsistent at times. But I think it kind of talks even more to the greatness of Diego Pavia, and this guy probably was the reason why we won 10 games. If you're honest about it, I think that Trent Richardson is a big blow maybe to the offense, but maybe they can get somebody in to take his place, because that's a guy that can just run by people on deep routes. But anyway, I've pretty much moved on to basketball season. We got a pretty good basketball team and a big game coming in tonight. George, I wanted to mention to you, I don't know if you had heard, Lou Connor passed away yesterday. I don't know if you had heard that.
No, I did not know that. No, listen. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know it.
He's a member of the Vanderbilt Hall of Fame. Was a great Commodore.
And been a great friend to me. Been a great friend to me over the years. I did not know that. Clay, thank you for sharing that.
Okay. See you guys.
Wow. Thank you. I worked with Lou's daughter years ago, Holly Connor, at Bankrupt WTN. Yeah. Lou Connor qualified, great golfer, qualified for the United States Open
at a pretty advanced age to be doing that.
Really? So
man,
he was
I
an
hate
athlete.
to hear that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and a good man. Tony in Nolensville, last call before the break, and then we'll get to a few more afterwards. What's going on?
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen, and I'm glad to know I am a true red-blooded American to get in this first segment, so thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Okay. Starting the new year off the right way, obviously. Kelly,
yes, sir.
You did not finish dead last in the competition.
I did
wanna
not,
give
man.
you
I had
a shout out on that.
I had an opportunity, Tony, to take over in Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers messed me up.
And you were leading that for a while.
Well, I don't know if I was leading it, but if I would have won that last game, I would have been.
And so I do believe, and y'all hash this out, on probably Wednesday, I'm probably Thursday, but I believe Chuck, the world traveler, great casino man, I believe he finished last in the competition. But George, I've kept up with it a lot throughout the years. I always have a little fun here at the house, keeping up with the picks on Saturday. And this is probably about one of the closest years I think you've ever had a group to contend like this. So
everybody had a shot at it, but in the end, the great military leader proving his mettle
again.
That there will be an investigation of exactly who he is being advised by. Yeah.
Kelly,
He's
I don't
definitely
know
got a
if
book.
you knew this. Right, he's got some info. I shared this Friday with George and Parker, but the ACC has won with Miami winning a couple of games. I think they've now been accumulated up to $14 million for the conference, and the ACC is going to give that whole $14 million, awarding it to Miami only and not sharing it with the other schools in the conference. That come out on Thursday evening. And that's not setting real well over there with the likes of the North Carolinas and the Clemsons and the Florida States and all. That's going to be – I'm surprised that hadn't been discussed and talked about more in the news than just hearing the tidbit of it, what Yahoo Sports reported like on Friday. And guys, talking about the Indiana-Alabama game, first of all, with Indiana, think of this, and y'all touched on it. You had one of the worst programs in the history of college football that had the second most losses, I think, in Division I of the Power Four. Going against one of the most powerhouse schools of all time in Alabama, playing in the granddaddy of them all bowl game, that tells you right there how things have been out of line. But the stars come lined up, and of course Indiana put the beat down on Alabama like they've never had before in any game or any bowl game for sure. But with that being said, you've got another good, and y'all hadn't talked about this much, but a good championship FCS game here tonight.
I'm going to it.
Playing against Illinois State. And that's going to be a good football game. It's going to be a good game to watch. And I'm glad it was a great day for them. And I think it'll be Vanderbilt, I'm sure, putting on a good show for those two teams and those represented universities. So that's going to be fun to watch. But the championship game, George, I'm with you. I believe Google me, I'm a winner, is going to take down the young man wearing the Green Martians and Mr. Parker. I believe I'm sorry, Parker, that I feel that way, but, it's life, and I just don't believe Oregon's going to get over that hump with them. It's going to be a fun game to watch. So
it's okay. I have my satisfaction already, Tony. I'm all right.
There's no amount of mousse in your hair that'll make this happen.
Hey, George, you did admit that they're a machine. So That's all I
Oregon
needed to
or
hear.
Indiana?
Oregon. You said the Green Machine.
Yeah.
And Tony, don't ever say you feel sorry for Parker, please. Don't say that again.
Well, maybe I kind of walked down the plank on that one, but as far as Oregon, I've never been a big fan of them, but I do think they're going. I think the season's going to be over when they meet Indiana. And guys, the top defenses the last 3 years have. I say top defenses. The top defenses in the bowl games have all won the championships the last 3 years. And this year you've got 3 defenses that's in the top 10. Ole Miss is the only one that's out of the top 10. They're in the top 20. However, Ole Miss does have the second-ranked offense in the country. So it's going to be fun to watch what these 2 games end up being. So thank you for taking my call, Parker. Hang in there, buddy. But, it's just time for you going down the drain. It's over. See ya.
See ya. The Green Machine.
I'll be happy for Indiana. Truly. I will be happy for Indiana.
Yeah, sure you will. We'll go to the break on that. And then I want to ask Tyron and Brentwood, hang with us. You'll be first up. If anybody else wants to jump in, do it now. 615-759-9949 on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Here's David Levy of Levy's Men's and Women's Wear in Green Hills.
George, Levy's holiday collection is packed with bold looks, cozy favorites, and gifts that will make you and your loved ones smile. Come visit us at Levy's and let us help you celebrate the holidays in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere with plenty of front door parking, free gift wrap, and we are surprisingly affordable. Levy's, 3900 Hillsborough Pike, across from Virtus and behind Donut Den.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today. PancoastBenefits.com or call them at 615-292-3400.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Final segment of the show. There will be some good humor at the end, Kelly. Trust me when I tell you that.
I hope we need some humor. We've
Good.
got some humor because we're looking at it right between us.
Oh. with the elevated hairdo off the tee
The
box.
elevated hairdo.
Skolnick.
Someone
We've
told
got
me that I was
Skolnick.
sporting the Jimmy Johnson haircut today.
Yeah, that
We've told you that before, Parker.
That's a little over the top, but I mean, it's definitely in the fine family of, wow, elevated to 5,300 feet.
It does look a little weird on the broadcast right now. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, well, it's because it's elevated.
Chase McCabe told me earlier I look good. So
Yeah, well, Tyron
Chase
and
lied to you.
Brentwood. Yeah. Tyron, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Living Legends? Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy
What's
New
up,
Year
Tyron?
to you as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got a couple of things. First of all, let me start with this. Mike Vrabel, New England Patriots. I'm sorry. So sorry. You got the wrong quarterback and the wrong coach Sunday night coming to Foxborough. I think the Chargers are going to go in there and win. If they play a clean game, don't turn the football over. And he's going to get sacked 4 or 5 times. Although New England doesn't have the pass rush of a lot of the elite teams. So somebody's pointing that out to me. But I think the Chargers are going to go in there and beat New England. And I watched that game yesterday, and there's no such thing as more victories. But my God, they were playing with the 3rd and 4th string. They kept Denver out the end zone. Denver couldn't even score a touchdown. So we beat New England. I welcome with open arms going to Denver division round weekend. What I'm getting to make things short on that topic, Chargers, Jacksonville AFC title game. NFC title game, Bears, Seahawks. That's what I'm going to out of that. And I tell you this much, Lane Kiffin is sweating. You know what? He is sweating because I'm telling you, he is worried. Ole Miss may win this thing. And can you imagine, George and Kelly, you so well alluded to it. If they win this thing going through the gauntlet they did, beating Miami, then beating Indiana, oh, man, he would never, ever live that down. There's no coming back from that. And I'll ask y'all this because y'all are the living legends. Let's just say all this comes through. We know he quit on his team, walked out on him during a championship run. What if it goes bad, devastating bad in LSU, where they have to fire him after year 2, year 3? You think this is the end of Kiffin? You think anybody will hire him after that, considering this nonsense? Because, man, this is the more and more they keep winning, Kiffin looks like an ass. Hey, let's just call it what it is.
Tyron, how do you really feel?
Oh, man, how do you walk out on a championship? Well, what kind of competitive gene do you got? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's a joke. And I'll say this in closing. Ohio State, you got a problem. I'm going to tell you something, George and Kelly and Parker. That kind of loss right there, you watch for this. Jeremiah Smith may hit the portal. He may very well hit the portal because that quarterback for Ohio State, and George, you tried to kind of say during the year you didn't think it was the gap you thought. He looked shaky the other night, and he looked shaky against Indiana. And I'm telling you, Jeremiah may be looking around going, man, do I want to come back with an average quarterback or hit the portal and go somewhere and play with an elite quarterback and better my draft stack? I mean, he's the best player in the country. The fact that the quarterback was in New York and he wasn't, I get statistics, but we all know. Jeremiah Smith, come on, man. But so, Ohio State, you got some fixing to do because that was embarrassing. Continue success, living legends.
See, brother.
Tyron, love it.
Yes, sir.
So think about this. If Ole Miss were to win the national title, the likely 4 teams that they would have to get through, Tulane, okay, Georgia, Miami, Indiana, dadgum. If you get through those 3, you ought to be national champion.
You deserve it.
Deserve
we don't know if it's
the NFL playoffs.
We don't know if it's going to be Indiana now, George. I mean, we don't know that.
We don't,
look at you, Kelly. Give me a break. You don't believe that.
I think that Indiana will win, but it comes down to one game, and there's a lot of things can happen in one game. There's a lot of if you don't play well
2 weeks ago, now you want to start listening?
I've always said it. Oregon has not won the big game yet, so until they do it, I'm still going to go with that.
They haven't won a national championship yet.
That's the big game, big dog. You got to win it.
They've won plenty of big games, though.
But you got to win the big one, and they have never won it.
You mean like when they hosted Indiana earlier this year?
No, that was a loss. But the Texas Tech game was big.
Mm-hmm.
The Ohio State game last year before the Rose Bowl. That was
By the way, hold on. We have late word that Texas Tech just crossed midfield.
They got Brendan Sorsby, by the way. $5 million.
Golly, man. Is that how much they paid him?
Yep.
Which, for now, sends this message to the moms in the world. Mama, let your babies grow up to be QBs.
Gosh.
God.
That's amazing, man. So the kid from Cincinnati coveted that much money to go to Texas Tech.
And look,
yep,
he was a good quarterback, but I didn't just get all, Brendan Sorsby.
Jeez, that's unbelievable. I don't know where this is going, guys. We talk about this every day we're on the show, but $5 million for a kid in college is just, it's unbelievable to me, and it's hit an outrageous button. Like, this is just, it's getting absurd. It's getting absurd is what it's getting.
Think about Sam Levitt, too. By the way, I believe Sam Levitt's going to Kentucky, but, like, you know,
listen, if Kentucky gets him, that is a really good get. That kid can play, and he's tough.
It looks like they're going to switch quarterbacks because Cutter Boley went to Arizona State.
Oh, did he really?
Mm-hmm.
He went to Arizona State. So how much did he get to Arizona State?
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Yeah, Cutter Boley. He committed to Arizona State over the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Parker knows. You know that, George. He's Skolnick of football.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Kelly, as you know, we're starting a new year, not only for, calendar purposes, but also for plaster bet of the day purposes.
You needed to start a new year.
It still hasn't showed up on the graphic, though. I don't know why.
Well, whatever.
See?
That's awful. You might. That is embarrassing.
I may need to go in there manually and change that. So
yeah, that's humiliating. Anyway, real pain. That's where the Dr. Gill Center comes in. And we thank them for being part of the show. They have chosen us because, Kelly, our show skews a tad bit older. And it skews a tad bit older because I skew a little bit older.
A lot older.
Yeah, thanks. Here's the bottom line. As you get older, there are pains that start to happen that you say, ooh, that's not good. So the real question is, are you willing to just sit there and put up with the pain and say, well, that's just the way it's going to be from here till the end? It's not the way it should be. You need to say, I need to try to do something about it. And that's where the Dr. Gill Center comes in. Because for $49, they have what I will call an initial consultation and a report of findings. So that they're going to find out, sorry, that wasn't real good, was it, Kelly? They're going to find out what it is causing the pain, what it is can be done to treat it, and they're going to listen to you on the front end to describe what has been going on. So I'm going to give out a phone number, and I want you to jump in there, because if getting rid of pain is important in the new year, the Dr. Gill Center is where you need to be. 615-882-4838. Again, 615-882-4838. Now, Kelly, on to some other level of pain.
We
Tonight,
shouldn't flash the record again, should we?
No, probably not.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Let's see it. That's bad, George.
103, 121, and 6.
We start clean slate tomorrow.
Whatever.
Clean slate tomorrow.
Whatever. Anyway, around the old breakfast table this morning, turns out we have a little bet going with Larry Schmittou. He wanted to know exactly where I was going. I think Montana State wins, and I think they win in double digits. I think they're that good. Larry Schmittou disagrees. we have a friendly, shall we say, lunch wager. So some of the people around the table wanted to know exactly what that meant, a lunch wager.
I want to know what that means, too. That means he's probably going to take you to Jay Alexander, but you're going to take him to White Castle.
Well, that kind of thing was speculated. What I did say was that if I lose, wherever I end up taking Larry, it will be indoors with indoor plumbing.
There we go.
Okay.
Montana State tonight. They will likely, even though they are way, way away from here, likely to have a big chunk of the crowd. I'll report back tomorrow. I'm going, and I'm excited. Good move for Nashville. Thanks for being with us today. Kelly, good to talk to you. And Parker, do something about your hair.
I'll
See
fix
you
it
tomorrow.
Get a personality, Parker.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobus. Our forecast staying sunny into the afternoon and this evening, and high temperatures climbing well into the 60s after a cold start to the day. Tonight, not nearly as cold.